So this week we're looking at a dry clutch PowerShift, which is smaller brother to the horrific PowerShift that always goes wrong. This is obviously a dry clutch. You have to change the solenoids and the mech at the back. So we're going to go through it today. These are typically found in the smaller Fords, Focuses, Fiestas. Also comes in Renaults. So let's start stripping it down. So this is the 6 DCT250, or as Renault call it, DC4 EDC. There's a dry clutch, dual clutch PowerShift gearbox. So first up, stripping it down, you've got to take off the actuators. These actuators actually control the clutch forks for engaging and disengaging the clutches. Then off comes the main clutch assembly. This is a special tool for pulling it off. As you can tell, this is extremely dusty, which means the clutch is probably also full of dust, which could be why it's already slipping. So next up, we need to move the clutch forks. What is actually undone is the springs that hold the clutch forks down until they get engaged via the actuator. That's the clutch and the forks out. So now we move on to removing the nose cone. This just protects the input shaft and gives a nice smooth surface for the clutches to slide up and down. Now the nose cone is out, we can actually have a look at the parts that come off the box. So you go, you've got your clutch forks, actuators, the actual clutch, shims, and there's a nice new one next to it. Right, so that's the clutch at the 6 DCT250. You have two clutch forks, it's obviously dual clutch. This is what sets the height for the shims, set the height for the clutch. This is the nose cone, clutch slides up and down this, make sure it keeps centered. And you get two actuators. So these actuators have a spline that comes out the back. That feeds into the clutch fork. Now the clutch fork is controlled by that as it spins. So that fits on there. And that actuator is what controls the clutch fork. Unfortunately, the box doesn't have to come this far apart, but we're going to look at the most interesting bit about this box, how it shifts gears. So there's a TCM, or what people call a mech unit, which controls two drums that have ridges in them. And then when those ridges turn, or the drum turns, the ridges move the shift fork from gear to gear. Now this is different from most automatics or DCTs because typically they use hydraulic pressure, but this uses just two electric motors that spin and turn those drums and change gear. So each gear is a specific position for where the mech or TCU needs to turn to get it to change into that correct gear.
So where do we get our gearbox parts from? We work in partnership with AutoLink Automatics, a specialist gearbox parts supply company with years of industry experience. Whether it's service kits, seals, gaskets, filters, or replacement transmission components, AutoLink stocks an extensive range of parts for automatic gearboxes. They supply components from some of the biggest names in the industry, including ZF, Aisin, Sachs, and Borg-Warner, ensuring we have access to the quality parts needed to carry out reliable repairs. quality parts, specialist knowledge, trusted support. That's why AutoLink Automatics is our gearbox parts supplier of choice.
So I've been on my travels over to AutoLink, picked up a new clutch and all the ancillaries that come with it, plus 2 new actuators for the box. So we can now start getting these fitted. So now that we can get this refitted, we can start with the nose cone. This stops the clutch from hitting the input shaft and destroying that. So it's just a sleeve that goes on, doesn't do anything mechanical, just allows the clutch to slide up and down without damaging the input shaft. Then we move on to the actual clutch forks. These have to be positioned in the correct order to make sure that they don't interfere with each other when they're engaging and disengaging. Then the actual fork gets bolted down, and then next up is these 2 springs. This actually forces the clutch fork to be sat in a neutral position, and then when it's engaged by the actual actuator, these springs give it tension to go back to where it should be, so the clutch is disengaged. The alignment fork is then used to make sure that the springs are in the correct orientation to make sure there isn't additional play once they have been fitted. Then we can lift in the clutch. There is a special toolkit that you can get for the 6 DCT250 that comes with these little handles for lifting the clutch in and out. Then, pressing the clutch down, we use the same tool that we use for the DQ200 DSG gearbox, which, to be fair, is an extremely similar box because they are both dry clutch. So we're now going to press the clutch down. This has to go down far enough that we can get the clip on that secures the clutch into position. If you were to push the clutch down too far, there is another special tool that you would need for resetting the clutch back to its neutral position before fitting. Next up, we get the clip on. Then we fit this last little bit. So this connects the clutch to the secondary input shaft. Because there's 2 clutches, you have to have 2 input shafts. Then use a tool that comes in the toolkit for the 6 DCT250, and this goes into the clutch actuator slot, and you use it to unwind, much like a brake rewind tool, to unwind the clutch to reset it. Then we can put on the new actuators and get those bolted down. So there it is, 6 DCT250 or the DC4 gearbox from Ford and also fitted in Renaults. So there we go, that's the 6 DCT250 with new clutch, actuators and the mech unit, which actually controls changing gear. That can now go down and go back in the Focus. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. We'll see you next week for another one.